Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. And our sponsor today is Pulsechain, Pulse Gains. So welcome, everybody. And the title of the video today is Awesome, Best Pulsechain Strategy to Make You Rich. And, of course, this will affect everybody. This is a strategy everybody can do. And so we're going to get into that. And we're also going to talk about how that could be done. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get into the house, though, and say who's here. Who is here? Let us know. Get in the chat there. I don't know what I'm saying, but let's go. Lies Beneath, how are you today? Very, very cool, of course. And Lies always brings us the alpha straight in at the beginning. I love it. And, of course, the Richard Hart gold standard, gold crypto is what Richard Hart is. Pretty awesome. I'm sure that we're going to get some help there. Hex, EX, PLS, and PLSX incentive token for the 100%. Looking really good. We've got Sandy Beach in the house nice and early. Good to see you, Sandy. If you're not following Sandy on Twitter, follow Sandy. Growing influence on there and all-around awesomeness. We got Kristen as well. Wookie, no milk. Wookie, no milk and cookies for you. You're a diabetic. Yeah. Wookie's in the chat as well, one of our moderators. Wookie is here for the milk and cookies. Nice in there, Wookie. Hello all. What's up, Superman? Mikey in house. Good to see Mikey. I love those emojis too. Looking very cool. Now, if you want to get access to those emojis in the chat, you do have to become a Hex Token channel member. All you have to do that is hit the join button. They're all very modest levels of support. There we've got the Pulsechains, we've got the Hexkins, and the Richard Hart Club, 3 different memberships to help support the channel as we live stream every day. Get into it, and I appreciate the support. You get cool emojis in the chat, of course, and special treatment there in the old Discord, which is free to get in the Discord. And we've got all the information about Pulsechain, Pulse Hex, and Hex, and all the projects that are coming on the Pulsechain. It's going to be so fun. All right, let's get into it. Lisa notes, you need to drop that to the people who have PLS. Nice one then, Lisa. J-Pon as well. Anything happened since I've been away for the last 2 weeks? Not much, J-Pon, not much at all. Good morning all from J-Pon. And Harry Williams in the house as well. Yo. Hello, everybody. Good to see you, Harry. And when I think of Harry, I always think of either Prince Harry or I think of Harry Met Sally. I don't know. Harry, welcome to the chat there. Harry Met Sally, one of my favorite romantic comedies of all times. A pretty cool movie. Charity says, hello, how's everybody today? I think doing pretty well. Good day to go shopping. All I'm going to say. Pulse Demic in the house there. Pump it. Not one. Was it nice and hard? Says Pulse Demic. Feeling the FOMO there. Howdy team from Matt and Bali. Hope you're well. Coffee with milk, no sugar, and not bintangs like Superman says. This Hex Token channel is proudly sponsored by Bintang Beers, and you guessed it, Pfizer. Thank you, Pfizer. Just playing the long game now. Hoddle says Sinful Believer. That's true. George Tucko, what's up, guys? Good to see you, George. We've got Charity Dunning in the house as well. Good to see you, Charity Dunning. Nice to see those membership there logos on Charity. Nice one. And we've got Rev Ken as well. Marnie. Let's go. And Bob Fest, g'day, folks. G'day. What else there? Brian, sup, folks? Good to see Brian, one of our 2 community leaders. Big shout out to Brian. Has been helping so many people, our mod team, and people in the community. The community leaders, they've been helping so many people. So big shout out to you guys. You guys have helped so many people's lives and helped them to get into the Rich Hard ecosystem. It's been pretty amazing. So big shout out to Brian and, of course, the moderator teams there. Sandy Beach says, hello, Hex Token, everybody. Peso dude, happy Monday, Tuesday. It's great to be alive and witnessing the transformation of crypto. It is indeed. And, of course, we're in week 2 now, Pulsechain, right? We're in week 2. So very, very exciting to see where we go from here. Just the beginning, folks. Just the beginning. Dave Down says, shout out to all the wonderful, helpful, caring people in our community. We're all in this together, 100%. 100%. That's so good. We even have in our Discord, we have a chat called Pulsechain Help. And we really opened that up so that people could come in and get some help from more knowledgeable people in the community, the people that help and have a sensitivity to that. So that's been very successful. We've had tons of people in there. It's been really, really good. And a lot of people have been helped out. So it's really, really nice. Obviously, it's not a professional service, but it is a community service to help people. And I think it's made a big impact. Matt and Bali in the house there. Wookie. Woo. Yeah, Wookie's here. Never fear. What else there? Ramon says, super duper exciting times. Other chains have to cheat to beat us. That's true. We're going to talk about that too, actually. We're going to talk about that. What else? Let's jump in through some of these. We've got Jared in house there. What's up, everybody? Good to see you, Jared. And Matt Bali says, hello, everyone. Good to see Matt and Bali in house. You know, community is number one, right? You know, it's really is amazing. I always come back to what Richard Hart said. You know, the one big thing that really amazed him was how great the community is, you know. So I think that's really, really cool. Sandy Beach says, I went shopping today on 2 chains. Nice one there, Sandy Beach. We got a big shout out and a thank you to the helpful folks on the Discord today. Yeah, 100%. They've been so good. So big shout out. Good morning, PLS family from the Nef Star. Good to see you in the house. And Rango as well. Morning all. And of course, you can follow Sandy Beach on Twitter there, Sandy Beach _369. What's the 369, Sandy? Just kidding. That's the inflation rate of Hex. Well, at least the nominal inflation rate. Effective inflation rate is much lower. All right, let's help me get to 4,000 followers. Yeah, definitely help Sandy Beach get 4,000 followers. That'd be so legendary. Sandy Beach has got way more followers than Hex Token channel on Twitter, which is pretty funny. We're working on it though. Thanks, boss. Just paying it forward, says Brian. Hey, nice one, Brian. We do appreciate it. And DHex there, let's go Hexco 100%. Thomas Turner in house as well. Hope all are great. I think everyone's doing pretty well there, Thomas and Sandra as well. Hey, Superman and family. Good to see Sandra in the house. Christian Collin in the house. Hello, familiar. Good to see you. Matt and Bali says beach time soon, Superman. So get on with it, lol, says Matt. That's pretty funny. Hey, well, look, we're up to 7 minutes on the intro. We're still doing pretty well. Humberto says, yo, cheers from sunny Miami. Good to see Humberto. And thanks, Hex Token, says Sandy Beach. You're welcome, most welcome. And of course, anyone have any updates on the RH live stream? Yeah, we're expecting that on Monday, right? I haven't heard much about that either. I don't have any particular updates on that. If anyone does, let us know in the chat. Yeah, let's get into it though. Without further ado, our proud sponsor, Bintang Beers. And thank you, Matt, for being a supplier. I thought I'd get you, Matt. Thanks, Matt, for being the supplier of Bintang Beers sponsorship. All right, so let's get into it. We got actually, we're not starting off with BankX, but we're starting off with Richard Hart. Richard Hart here. This is his updates over the last 21 hours, and man, it's been quite exciting. Let me say that much. 21 hours ago, he says, "What are the best compliments you've heard about Pulsechain, PulseX incentive since launch, or are we still that early?" And we are early. That's very important to me. One of the key takeouts you can take out from this live stream today is that we are early, and of course, it is a journey, and it's going to be an incredible one. And of course, we're going to have probably a few lows, but mostly highs is my guess, and it's going to be something that we can all laugh about in the future. It's pretty cool. So yeah, people getting in there and obviously getting in their answers. Let's have a look at a few of the comments. We got Bretep, of course, one of the Pulsechain devs in there, as an outside observer and knowing to some extent what it takes to successfully launch a layer 2 chains and associated bridge. I've been impressed with the massive full L1 fork. I think Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex have a bright future. Great job. Isn't that fantastic? That's so good. So it's got a little print there. So that's really, really neat. That's Pulsechain dev Bretep there. And yeah, KVK loves that. Matt and Ali in there. Nice one. Has got comments in there as well. So lots of people pretty excited about that. They got Noah's Ark there with Pulsechain and PulseX. It's a scam. Crypto says NFTs, Web3. It's a scam, and of course, everyone else is in trouble there. They're going to be in pretty big trouble. So pretty fun there. Lots of cool stuff. Looking good. All right, so that was pretty neat. Let's jump forward though. Richard Hart, 21 hours ago, said, "I wish Satoshi sent me a letter letting me know about Bitcoin in 2008." And of course, Richard's let us know about Pulsechain in 2020. Was it? Yeah. What year is it? 23. Yeah, the years are flying by. And I think that's pretty cool too. Then he posted this from the Bitcoin Pizza. Bitcoin Pizza today is today. BTC had no price for a year or so until May the 22nd, 2010. Someone bought $41 of pizza for $10,000. That's $266.5 million now. Mamma mia indeed. Let's got the diamonds on the pizza there. Incredible. Now, if I remember rightly, they did that on purpose too, so to track it, I guess. Then we had some drama, right? So yesterday I talked on the live stream about one of the potential liquidity pairs being wrapped Bitcoin, right? Remember talking about that? So we're just starting to talk about what do you want to bring over to Pulsechain? You want You want to make Pulsechain more valuable, right? You want to blow up the balloon. We talk about the balloon analogy. You want to blow up that balloon, put a few more puffs in it. And of course, one of the things obviously is expensive chains. You want the main coins of expensive chains, in particular Bitcoin. And of course, you want to track that into the Pulsechain as well. Well, interesting enough, just after that, obviously wrapped Bitcoin popped up on the farm, but it wasn't quite set up properly, and it's been removed from that time. But we're going to look at that later on. Stay tuned for that. So there was a bit of a drama there. We saw that the Pulsechain copy of wrapped Bitcoin got suddenly speculated on. So just pump, and that caused a bit of drama as well. Unfortunately, that was the wrong pair, the wrong token. And so there's a bit of drama there. You're going to get things like this. It was unfortunate, but you're always going to get some things like this. And yeah, they've ended up removing that. But we're expecting something today. We're expecting something today about the bridged in wrapped Bitcoin. Remember that. So if you remember on Ethereum, of course, Bitcoin, it runs its own chain. But on Ethereum, you'll see wrapped Bitcoin, right? Wrapped Bitcoin is an ERC20 token. And really, it's set up by, I think, the wrappedbitcoin.com. And of course, it's basically just like you set up other tokens that are backed, like stable coins, like Circle, for example, with USDC. They basically issue them and redeem them on a website and through custodials. And of course, they issue that wrapped Bitcoin on the Pulsechain. Now, I think there's if I remember rightly, obviously there's something like, was it 18.5 million Bitcoin at the moment, something like that. And of course, the amount of wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum is about, I think from memory, about 155,000, somewhere in that ballpark. So that gives you some idea. And of course, to attract some of that wealth over to Pulsechain is another boom, right? Another boom. Now, obviously, also attracting top ERC20s like SHIB and Link and other things over is also pretty cool. But you want the big communities, right? You want big communities, you want valuable stuff, and you want to attract that over to Pulsechain, and that just inflates the balloon, right? Balloon gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you get more users, more mass adoption, more value, etc., etc. So it's pretty cool. All right. So we had a bit of that going on, and there was a bit of issues around that. We're going to jump through all that. We're not going to talk too much about the detail, but that's basically the summary there, and so forth. So let me just jump through some of this. We're going to jump through some of this Bitcoin stuff. So you can see the pump there that happened. That was the pump. We were watching that at the time. It was pretty dramatic. Yeah, it was causing a lot of consternation there. But look at that. It got pumped. Super huge. Went from like $50 all the way up to 2,600, I think it was. So it was a pretty dramatic on that. But just goes to show you that was a bit of unfortunate error or issue there. So that has been removed. When you bridge wrapped Bitcoin, and then of course Richard posted a few things about bridging wrapped Bitcoin and the Bitcoin contract, just to clarify that. I'm not actually sure if he was aware that the farm had been put up. So the farm has been removed. And so, lesson learned, as it were. So wrapped Bitcoin does less volume than Hex. I guess it's not a priority. And talking about the amount of people trading there at the moment. So on Ethereum. So obviously you've got the volumes here, 16 million on Hex, 30 million on wrapped Bitcoin. So let's move forward up here. We had a few more there. When farms are finished, so this is kind of cool. So obviously it was removed, and we are expecting something today. Actually, where is that comment? Actually, I want to pull that up. I'm not sure which one that was on. Let me just pull that up there. Is it this one here? I'm not sure where that comment is on here, actually. Let's just have a look down here. Yes, here it is here. So 19 hours ago, we got this tweet here. I think that means that it's very close to not being a farm at all. Maybe there will be cool stuff to do with wrapped Bitcoin tomorrow. All right, so this is the big lead in for today. So you should be looking out for that on Pulsex to see what happens. We're going to check later on, but I haven't seen anything so far. But maybe there will be cool stuff to do with wrapped Bitcoin tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. Now I'm not sure if that's associated with the fact that the wrapped Bitcoin farm got pulled up there and it pulled back down, had issues with it and stuff. So whether that was released too early may have been the case or not. So we're going to be looking at that and looking for what may come out today. Now there's a couple of obvious combinations or features we might see around either farms or other alternatives, but that's kind of what we're looking at there. So stay tuned if you are interested And obviously that then keep refreshing the PLX farm or browser or features there, and keep close tabs on Richard Hart on Twitter as well. Although it's going to probably be up on the site before it gets to Richard Hart's Twitter, so you got to be there looking there. So maybe there'll be cool stuff to do with Wrap Bitcoin tomorrow. That is the Bridgeton Wrap Bitcoin. So we'll see what they do there. Now, obviously, an obvious pair. We're going to get more into details on that in a second. So let's scroll back up the top here. So that was kind of cool there around the volume. Let's jump up to the top here. So this is when we got 2 hours ago. So obviously we're expecting something today. When farms are finished, you can find them in the finish tab. If you're not staked there, you can click the staked only toggle to see them anyway. Now, obviously, we can't see that actually. We can't see these on the finish tab at the moment. So it seems to be on Richard Hart's view from the looks of it. And of course, Wrap Bitcoin from Ethereum. Wrap Bitcoin, that was the one that was pulled up. And of course, that was the one that was causing the issue. And then we also had Wrap Bitcoin Pulse. Now, this is the one that we actually really expected, right? So the Wrap Bitcoin Pulse, that was the one that was actually expected. This one popped up, and of course, that was not really expected. But this one here was expected with the Pulse, because you think about it, Pulse is the ETH on or Ethereum on Pulsechain, right? It's the one I use for the fee. In terms of Wrap, Pulse is used for the DeFi side of it. And of course, that's what we're expecting. So that's in his finished one. So interesting there on his view. A little bit of insight there. Now, then 2 hours ago, apparently there's a deep fake of Richard's of me scamming on Instagram. Of course, he deactivated his Instagram, so you can't see it. So be careful on Instagram. Big scammers are after Pulsechain people, and so be careful out there. All right, so that is Richard Hart's updates. We're going to come back to that and see whether he comes up with anything else during the live stream, because this time is gold time from Richard Hart during this period. So that's very important. Now, getting to the title of the video, best Pulsechain strategy to make you rich. That is where we're up to now. And so we're going to talk about plsburn.com. Now, if you haven't saved this to your favorites, you should do. It's just a fantastic site. And of course, it is just so good to summarize things. So we're going to get into that. All right. So that is it there, plsburn.com. And you can see the site is up and running. It's really, really cool. And let's see what the numbers are today. So we actually got red numbers today. What happened to every day up, every day green? Well, it's not every day is never green in markets, right? But what is a red day? You guys would know it. And so what is the best Pulsechain strategy to make you rich? We're going to get straight off with it, folks. That is one word, accumulation. All right. You accumulate as much of the Richard Hart standard, gold standard coins as you can, or tokens as you can. That is the key thing to do. Accumulate. And of course, that is how you make yourself rich. If you think that Richard Hart has got the best tokenomics, got everything coming with the whole ecosystem, then that's what you're substantiating it with. And of course, you've seen how successful Hex has been. One of the few coins to do 10,000x. So that's where you're back in there, folks. So accumulate is the one word you should remember. Best Pulsechain strategy to make you rich is accumulation. Now, typically for layer ones in particular, and DEXs, typically accumulating in the first 3 months, 6 months is very, very important, even all the way up to the first 18 months, 2 years, if you want the big X gains. Those big X gains are very important. Now, we're going to talk about the supply as well and get into all that, but that is the number one thing. So now that you know this, the best strategy is to accumulate, and that's open to everybody, right? Everybody can do that. We're going to talk about how you can do that and about the risk and reward trade-offs of each of those methods of doing that. So we're going to get into that. Before we do that, though, let's get into the coins. So we got Pulse here is at 000218. Now, do you know that Pulsechain supply was given out during the sacrifice phase between after the 15th of July 2021? And of course, you can see that the mean price was just over 0001. So the actual price at the time is 0001. And of course, this price at the moment, 000218, down 15% overnight, is 2.18 times sacrifice. So what does that tell you? It tells you you're early. All right. So ignore the red number. Just think about the fact that you're early, and then look back at the red number and go, damn it, I can get it for 14% cheaper than yesterday. OMG, that's fantastic. All right, so that's fantastic for you. Now, the market cap here has got 29 billion, the supply 135 trillion. But remember that 90% of the supply is in the Origin account hands. It is centralized as part of Richard Hart's tokenomics, right? There are no expectations around that. But if we've seen the behavior of the OA or origin account in the Hex contract, we see that it doesn't sell anything, and of course that it works to support the whole project's valuation, and certainly to some degree has a lot of benefits from that, like denying other whales and things like that. So it's pretty cool. Now the burn at the moment, 1.34 billion burn, but that burn is measured against the total supply. But in actuality, if you're thinking about markets, you're thinking about what does the public have, and of course you'll see slightly different numbers out there, but around about 12.5 trillion is the last number that I've seen. And so that gives us a higher number of burn as well. And of course, this doesn't include the burn from the validators as well. So that's an addition that the Pulsechain team is burning their rewards out of the block rewards. So that's pretty bullish too. So this is actually much higher. And of course, if we get to, let's say the public supply is 12.5 trillion, and we get that to 0.01%, then we're looking at 125 it would be the amount burned there, right? So in terms of billions. So we're well on our way, folks. We're well on our way to burn pretty nicely on the Pulsechain. Not only do we have the big burn, but we've got also the big supply sinks happening with the validators. And of course, we're going to have more supply sinks with the protocols coming in the future within the next 60 days with the Liquid Loans protocol. And of course, Fiat, Fork of Aave, other DeFi, the big DeFi players with their supply sinks as well. Pulsechain will get supply synced in a lot of protocols on top of Pulsechain. So that's going to remove a lot of supply from the market. So it's going to be very bullish. Some of those protocols also allow you to buy more Pulse and take more Pulse off the market and supply sync those as well, while earning a really good yield for doing so. So that's bullish. And of course, you earn a lot more yield in terms of volume. Then, of course, you just watch price go up to the right? So you got more volume plus price, and that's the holy grail, right? Getting into that sweet spot where you're earning great yield and price. That's how you get rich, folks. That's how you get rich, which is pretty bullish. All right, so that's going on very well at the moment. Now, Pulsex at the moment. Pulsex there is sitting at 000102, and that is only 1.02 above the sacrifice price. Brilliant. That has been as low as about 1/10 of the sacrifice price, and that was an obvious opportunity. And of course, that has moved up there to the 0001. And of course, it used to be about 4 zeros and 1. It was pretty small down. Now that's down 16% today. So that's another opportunity. You can pick that up for cheaper today, which is pretty incredible. And it's only 1.02 above the sacrifice. So fantastic from that point of view. Now accumulate. Now, what do you think I've been doing all week? Accumulating. What do everybody else I know have been doing during this week? Accumulating. Accumulate is what you do. And of course, you ignore any of the people, the degens. So you'll get a lot of degens out there. They'll be going, oh, I thought we were going to go 100x. Why am I not rich yet? And of course, they sell out their coins. And who buys them? I do. Who buys them? Hopefully you do, because that's how it works, right? So the people that stay the course, they're the ones that get the big X's, and all the degens are the ones that sell out, and they go to the next degen project. And of course, nothing is like Pulsechain. So that's their loss, right? That's their loss that they make. And then they come back, a year later, 18 months later, and go, oh my gosh, I used to have a big bag and I sold it, and now I'm going to do a video about it, right? So I'm going to do a video about it. And so you don't want to be that guy, right? Don't be that guy. All right, so that is the price at the moment. And of course, we can see the burn here at the moment, 48 billion in the burn there. So we've got the total supply at 143 trillion. You go, what? 142 trillion, but remember, about 88% of that is in the origin account's hands as well. So we're going to ignore that, and we're going to say around about 17.2 trillion is in the public's hands. That's the stuff we care about. And then we're going to top multiply that by 0.1%. That would be 1% burn. That's 172 billion. And look, we're already at 48. We're already at 48. So we're 48 billion burned. And that's beautiful, right? Beautiful. So we're not far away if you take it from the public supply to getting to 1%, right? So what about that? That's I would divide that by 48. And so, yeah, we're only 3.6x away from burning 1% of the public supply. So we're ignoring the origin accounts, and we're almost, we're only got 3.6x to burn that. And of course, if we're annualizing this at the moment at the current price of Pulsex, this burn's going to be absolutely spectacular if we keep up similar volumes, and we're expecting the volumes to grow over time. That's going to be absolutely amazing. So Now, if we times that, let me just take off a bit more. Let's say 45 times 52. You're looking at, I think we did yesterday, 2.2 trillion or something. So let me just do that math again. Times 52. Yeah, we're looking at probably 2.2 trillion, I think I said yesterday, if we have the current price and similar volumes. So let's see what happens there. Now, obviously, if the price of PulseX goes up, there'll be a bit less, but that all is relative to the amount of volume going on the network as well. Remember, even if no one is out there really buying PulseX, that if everybody is trading on PulseX, that is buying and burning PulseX, not just burning, but buying. So it's just buying. So if you've got 100 million, it's going to be buying all day. It's going to be buying about I think it's 70,000 there on 100 million. So it's going to be just buying every day, folks, and that's going to be absolutely incredible. All right, so then it jumps to the incentive token. Obviously, this has been booming at the moment, and of course, people are loving it. It is, I think, flat today. Actually, it's a flat today, up 0.5%, but it's actually been booming. You can get one incentive token for 287,000 Pulse at the moment, which is absolutely incredible. Now, I have got more things to say about the incentive token. It's a bit more complicated than the other tokens, but that is the play there. So that is doing very well at the moment. And of course, people are putting their Pulse into the AMM pool, and of course, they're taking out the incentive token at the moment. But of course, it can go the other way. But certain circumstances have to happen for that, and that's why it's a lot more complicated. But I won't go talk about too much about that at the moment. But that's definitely the case at the moment. Now, the total supply of Pulse of incentive token. Remember, there was no sacrifice for like Pulse and PulseX, so the incentive token has just started from zero and is being farmed into existence. Right, so people putting liquidity in, then putting their LP tokens into the farms and farming that 825,000 PulseX at the moment. Sorry, incentive tokens at the moment. Now, obviously, that's still relatively scarce, but also the yields are driving this behavior, right? So the yields, the APR, and the farms are driving this behavior. People need this for the farms, for the APR, but they're also people are speculating on it as well. Some people buy it and speculate on it. So that's also in the mix. All right, then we've got Hex at the moment on the Pulsechain. That's currently at 0.246 cents, right? So that's pretty doing pretty well, actually. That's down 11% at the moment. So what does that mean? That means more opportunity. You can get more today than you could yesterday. And of course, we're early, right? So accumulate, we're early. And of course, red means you get more. So you're getting even a better position. And so that's looking pretty good. 0.246 at the moment. On the old Pulsechain. Obviously, there's also Hex on Ethereum, and we're going to talk about that as well. Now, with the fact that people are accumulating Pulse and PulseX, we are seeing some impact on the Hex price, right? So there is competitive demand on that. But once everything starts moving up and to the right, as we're expecting, then obviously you can see the wealth effect on the Hex and also a few other things, which I'm not going to mention on the live stream at the moment. But that is also looking pretty good too. Now, the bridge at the moment is looking pretty nice, which is cool. So we're going to talk about that in a second. But before we do, is that you need to think about the fact that you need to accumulate. How do you do it? Well, there's a couple of methods you can do, right? So if you were lucky enough to be part of the fork on the May the 10th at 10:36 at night, then you would have a copy of all your Ethereum assets on the Pulsechain. And of course, they'll all be worth different amounts. They all start off at zero, but they'll all be worth different amounts now. And some people, if you are following the Richard Hart Maxi strategy, the gold standard of crypto, then you'd be trying to accumulate more Pulse and PulseX. So your first option is the lowest risk option, right? You can ratio trade your PRC copies of the ERC20 copies that you got for the main Richard Hart tokens and coins. And you can do that. That's your first lowest strategy. Why lowest risk? Because you got it for free and it was worth nothing. And now you can trade it for something that's worth something and potentiality for extremely high gains. We're going to talk about those high potentialities later on. So that's what you can do, right? So pretty cool. That's the lowest strategy. You can swap them. And a lot of people have been doing that in the last 7, 8 days, 9 days. So it's pretty cool. Or was it now 5 days, maybe 6 days? Can't remember what day we're in now. But that is pretty cool. And number 2 strategy, right? Number 2 is on the risk. So we're doing risk return type of idea here. So number 2 option is obviously dry powder, bringing in fresh dry powder, US dollars, either stable coins, Ethereum, something like that, and then buying it. So you can bridge those in and buy them. So what's What do we see that? A lot of people are doing number 2, right? A lot of people are doing number 2. That brings us to the bridge. And of course, you can see at the moment, based on asset values, $130 million is coming through the bridge at the moment. And that's spectacular. 98.4% of it has already come across, but not all of it has been deployed, right? So not all of it has been used. A lot of it's sitting in people's wallets. They're waiting and looking for opportunities and thinking about this strategy, all sorts of stuff going on there, right? A good amount of it has gone into the farms. And of course, I talked about that number the other day. And so that's been going in there. I haven't done an updated number for that, but it's fairly easy to do as approximate. We might do that tomorrow, but I haven't had time to do it today. But anyway, so this 98.4%, that is currently come over 130 million, and that's going to keep going, right? So it's going to keep moving onto the bridge. And of course, we're expecting other bridges coming up, right? So we've got the multi-chain bridge. We talked about that yesterday with Power City. So then we're going to have another bridge there from multi-chain to Pulsechain. And of course, we're also going to obviously put Power City. They're looking to bridge over to Binance Smart Chain or BNB Chain. And of course, that's going to open up more capital flows, which is very, very bullish, right? PortalX also going to have their super aggregator. That's going to be using the official bridge for Pulsechain. And of course, also the multi-chain bridge. And of course, the BNB bridge. They're going to be obviously being able to use PortalX as a super DEX. In other words, it's going to try and get you the best price through those different methods to get you the coin, and basically a one-click onboarding there. So all you have to do is put the token you want to sell, the token you want to buy, whatever chain you're from chain to chain. It's going to go find the best price for you on all the different DEXs out there and through all the different chains. And of course, it's going to do that work for you, and you will end up with the coin that you want or token that you want in your wallet, which is pretty cool. And that's a PortalX service, and over 63 blockchains as well. It's going to be pretty incredible with thousands of tokens opening up Pulsechain. Absolutely incredible amount of flows. Now they're going to be ebbs and flows, but at the moment, mostly the flow is going all to Pulsechain at the moment. All to Pulsechain, the vast majority of it, and we've looked at that yesterday as well in the data charts that we had on June, and we covered that yesterday. So that's pretty cool. We're going to have a deep dive into the June reports. Probably we'll try and do it tomorrow. Maybe we'll do that. But that bridge is coming over. So this is option number 2, bring over dry powder. And within that, of course, you can do strategies. You can do dollar cost average. So maybe every day or every week, you decide to average in and buy some of your favorite coins for the Richard Hart, a golden standard of tokens, because we are early. And what are we doing in terms of a strategy to get rich? Accumulate, right? And we're very lucky that, particularly with PulseX, that the price is around the sacrifice at the moment. But how long is that going to last for? It was down at a tenth of that price, which was just insanity, honestly. But of course, that closed up. So where do we go from here? And that's going to be fun to see. And the buy and burn is absolutely spectacular. Like I say, another 3.6x to burn 1% of the public supply. So we're only in the beginning of the second week. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see that. Big whales are going to take more attention to that over time. So don't think about today, think about the future and where this is all heading. That's what you should be thinking about there. All right, so that's number 2. Number 3, of course, is the PulseX farms. So you can go to the PulseX farms, and of course you can try to, if you're in the right pool, providing liquidity for the right peer. There's only certain peers that get the farming token incentive, and that's all because it's designed to bring over capital to inflate Pulsechain and PulseX, right? That's the whole point. So you've got obviously to lock away Pulse and PulseX often, in terms of being able to trade that, very fluid with big pools. You can see there's almost $192 million in liquidity in there at the moment. The APR is 60%. You're earning incentive token. Now, what's the key here? How do we know the strategy of the PulseX? Well, you can see the multiplier. There's a 10x multiplier on the farm, right? It gives us a lot of blues clues to what's going on here. Then, of course, we've got all the stable coins bridged in from Ethereum, DAI, USDC, USD Tether, and, of course, the main coin in terms of its wrapped version, wrapped ETH there, and they're all in the house. They're all in the house, dragging in that capital from Ethereum over to Pulsechain, inflating the Pulsechain value. So that's really cool, right? The TVL going up and away. What's the farm multipliers on this? Well, they want more of it, right? 20x multiplier. They're giving on those. So 20x multiplier on these farms. You can see 20x multiplier there. And that's really important there. Let's have a look at the ETH one. ETH1 20x multiplier. And finally, the USD Tether one is a 20x multiplier. There we are. So they all got 20x multipliers on the farm. And that's bullish, right? Bullish, bullish, bullish. We can also see that Hex also from the chain is also encouraged. Let's have a look at the multiplier. A 3x multiplier. Not so much because they know that's going to come over anyway, right? They know it's going to come over anyway. But that's with the Pulse. Now, obviously, depending on how much impermanent loss you think you're going to get there, you've got the relativity, right, between Hex performance and Pulse performance. So it's probably the most interesting one is this one over time. All right, so that's going to be fun to see that play out. Obviously, Pulse is brand new. Hex has been around for a while, but Hex has had a big discount in the market, so it's going to be interesting to see that play. And of course, Hex is paired with Pulse, and of course, that's also the Pulse does well, Hex does well. It's all about relativity, right, between the X's that you're going to get. Then, of course, you've got my favorite one here, Hex from Ethereum and Hex Pulse. That's in there as well, and that's earning 457. I think that one there is my favorite. I think in terms of minimizing impermanent loss, because I don't care too much between the Hex and the eHex. And of course, if you do percentages differences on impermanent loss, not so bad. Even if they do depart from 1 to 1, that's not so bad, right? So depends what school of thought you're in. But even if it does part from a 1-to-1 ratio between eHex or Ethereum Hex from Ethereum and Pulsechain Hex, then it's not too bad. But the APR spectacular, 459%. This has been up at 700%. A lot more liquidity is coming in here, folks. I just noticed over the last 24 hours, 50 million, and of course, more people are getting it. And as we saw in the bridge, more people are bridging over Hex. The amount of Hex bridged over, we can see here, 1.78 billion Hex has been bridged over. Now, this is the funny stuff. This is the funny stuff, which makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. I love it. Now, there are people panicking a little bit about the eHex price, the Hex on Ethereum. But just think about what's happening here, folks. We are going through price discovery phase. We have Pulse and PulseX obviously gaining a lot of attention, and the incentive token obviously has been rocketing, right? And so the incentive token is a ratio to Pulse, right? People putting Pulse in, incentive token's it's being taken out, but that's pretty interesting. So at the moment we've got some 1.78 billion being bridged over. That's basically all over there, just about. There's a little bit to go, but that means that the supply on Ethereum is reducing dramatically in the public supply. I mean, dramatically. That's a dramatic drop in the circulating supply there. And yeah, we saw what happened in the big payday way back. And of course, that market price went down dramatically, and then it recovered within weeks. And so what are we going to see on Hex on Ethereum? It's going to be interesting between the next 1 to 5 weeks. I think we're going to see some pretty spectacular things over there. Stay tuned for that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So you just got to write out the volatility, be cool, be calm. And what's the number one strategy? Accumulate. And of course, don't be that guy that said, I sold my Hex. Remember the video? I sold my Hex, man. I sold my Hex. Don't be that guy. And of course, stay the course. Now, if you're a degen, then you're going to do what your degens do, right? You're going to jump to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, trying to get your 30%, trying to get maybe your 2x and so forth. So this is the way it goes. All right. So that's pretty interesting there. Obviously, all the stable coins coming in as well as some of these. Now, there are tens and tens and tens of different cryptos being bridged over on Ethereum. We might look at that tomorrow too. I've got so many topics we've got to look at, but we might look at that too. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, number 3 there is the farms. And of course, this has different risks depending on which pool you're in. So there are trade-offs. Now, I say that we're going up the risk curve. So if you imagine risk on one side and return on the other, then you're increasing your risk rewards there. Now, what's number 4? Number 4 is basically going and trading, right? I'm in the wrong one there. Let's go pull up the actual chart. Number 4 is actually degening, right? So you're actually going for the latest meme coins that get pumped. You're trying to take on all that risk to try and get more pulse, but you could lose as much pulse as you get, or you could lose much more, right? So it's risky going degens. And of course, there are a couple of protocols out there at the moment on Pulsechain, but this is number 5, and this is probably this is actually lower down on the risk level, but is going for the protocols, but that's not here yet. We've got a lot of the smaller protocols launched, with maybe the exception of Fiat. We've got a lot of and maybe Internet Money. But the big ones we've got are still to come. They're still to come in the next 6 to 8 weeks. So stay tuned for that. Those are the ones that are going to be down on the risk ladder. So they're going to be obviously way down, in terms of that. So probably even lower than the farms, right? So lower risk than the farms. They're going to be right down, probably in the middle of the pack, if you're going to think about it like that. So it's going to be pretty important. So that's kind of some of the strategies you can do to accumulate. But whatever you do, that's what you're trying to do, accumulate. Obviously, nothing is financial advice. You guys need to make your own decisions. But these are all my opinions about it. And, of course, we've been dropping them like it's hot. And, of course, we've been first to market on just about everything. And, of course, we've got more in store. I got more alpha in store. It's coming soon. But, yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be pretty cool. Now, one of the things I want to talk about was the bridge that's going on really nicely. And, hey, look, you guys get to play a big role. Spread the word. Tell everybody about Pulsechain you can, about Pulsechain, about where it's going, and get everybody on. It's going to be taking over crypto. Tell them that's your keys, your coins. And, of course, the opportunity is as good as you get. Layer 1 chain, man. And, of course, we've already taken over to number 2 spot overnight. And, of course, now we've got another chain, Binance, setting up fake tokens and fake trading. And, of course, all that sort of stuff going on. People have noticed Pulsechain come to the fore. They don't want to lose the attention. They don't want Pulsechain to take the attention, right? They want to keep the Binance Smart Chain at number 2. They want that. Ethereum also is under pressure, but they've got less mechanisms to do that. And, of course, they have to rely on their big NFTs platforms to launch, right? So they're doing that, right? So they got the Blur yesterday. Was 3 days ago, actually, Blur, I think, the NFT. One of the NFT developers there launched a big token, did $53 million in volume yesterday. And, of course, they've got those ones. So they do have opportunities to keep their volumes high. But this is the way it goes, right? So anyway, we're going to have all that coming to Pulsechain. We're going to have a big NFT boom coming to Pulsechain, big DeFi boom coming to Pulsechain. It's all coming. And, of course, Richard Hart has got lots of cool things up his sleeve as well. So we're going to speculate on some of those. But that's pretty cool also. The other cool thing that we're seeing on the supply side for the chain itself is an incredible jump in the validators, which is absolutely awesome. Look at us, 13,803 validators at the moment, and we've got 3,932 entering. This is a dream run, folks, a dream run. Yeah, there's been a few hiccups on the way, but man, has this been an incredible launch, honestly. It has been really great. Look at that supply there, absolutely fantastic. So onwards and upwards, we're almost heading to what, almost 18,000 validators, and we're only in the second week. OMG. We have a kind of a proxy target of 40,000 with an APY of about 3% at the moment. It's absolutely amazing. I am absolutely chuffed with this. And what does this mean? All the validators have to lock away 32 million pulse. So remember, we're coming up to the top here. We got all this burn happening on the chain. We got the validators burning, Pulsechain devs validators burning their pulse. And now we've got also all this pulse staked. These are supply sinks. So burn and staking. Getting those tokens off the market one way or the other reduces the circulating supply. And, of course, if you've got lots of demand coming in, what happens? Price goes up and to the right. Accumulate, and the price will do its thing. This Pulsechain and Pulsex have the best tokenomics out there for layer 1 and for a DEX. It is amazing. And, of course, you're going to watch it play out. We're only in week 2. And, of course, if you see the price go down one day, say thank you very much, because you're going to be able to accumulate more of it, right? So just watch out for that. So anyway, we got $98 million of Pulse now staked, 441 billion Pulse with a B, with a big billion, 441 billion Pulse there burned, staked there. Absolutely amazing. And we got more coming in, folks, 3,932 coming in. So this number is going to go up, up, and up, and heading towards $1 trillion of Pulse there. So if what I say, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Maybe we've got 12.5 trillion Pulse in public supply, and we're going to have $1 trillion of it in the validators. OMG, onwards and upwards, right? And of course, this could keep going up and up and up there. We've got a lot of big whales there setting up a lot of validators. It's becoming far more popular because they see the success of the chain. They can see it, they get it, they understand tokenomics, they understand the financial engines that are available here as well that others don't have. So we'll talk more about that. A lot more to come. Now, gas prices there at the moment, we're 36 times cheaper than Ethereum and 45 times cheaper than Bitcoin at the moment. So we've still got that dramatic competitive advantage on this aspect of the chain. And, of course, we've also got at the moment Pulsex swap there. The Gwei is down 6.5 million. We've got 44 cents for a Pulsex swap, 3 cents for a Pulse transfer. That's the Pulse coin. And 9 cents for a PRC transfer at the moment. So that's actually not too bad today. That's a lot better. But there's a lot of protocols coming, folks. There's a lot of protocols coming. And what does that mean? That people are going to bid up the price of the block space, and you could see some quite elevated prices in the future. So you can get your positions done. Try and look for the low gas periods, just like anything else, and go for gold on that. So very, very cool. All right, so let's get into a cool animation of what's happening here. So these are animation of the blockchain of Pulsechain. Now the one on the left is Ethereum, which is what Pulsechain is, right? Pulsechain forked Ethereum. It is running pretty much the same gambit, right? The same thing. And you can see all the people are trying to get on the blocks. They're all going to compete with each other. And of course, the more protocols that we have coming on, the more users we have in those protocols. Think of Zen, for example. They got all their, so at the moment we've had the Zen launch in the first week. That a lot of people got upset about that because it started pushing the gas prices up dramatically. And of course, then we have all the ecosystem dApps to launch on Pulsechain too. So there's more to come there, folks. It's not just the Zen protocol, but all the ecosystem dApps like DBZen, all those other ones that are going to be dropping on there. Now that's just one aspect. We've got NFTs obviously going to drop, all the NFT marketplaces are to come. We've got all the big DeFi leverage lending to come. So there's more traffic coming to the Pulsechain. And you can see the traffic here on Ethereum on the left-hand side. You can see Bitcoin on the right-hand side. Look how slow Bitcoin is. Look how slow that traffic is. Look at them all. They're all lining up. Look at Ethereum. Ethereum is going much faster, and Bitcoin over there is just insane. Look at that thing. Let's scroll back and have a look at how slow Bitcoin is. It is as slow as a dinosaur or a snail or something. Look at that. Look at that. That there is the high fee. That's the high fee. And look at the low fee there. Look at the low fee in the back there. Woohoo! Look at the lineup. Everyone wants to get on the chain. You're wondering, why are these prices going? Why are these prices? Why are these prices so high now? Now this is still 41 times cheaper than Ethereum and 54 times cheaper than Bitcoin. It's still that much cheaper, but look how many people are jumping on the queue. All these people want to get on the blockchain and do the transactions, whatever it is, transferring, whatever. Look at them all. They're all piled up there. I'm just scrolling down here, folks. The people have come. The crowds are here. And this is Ethereum and Bitcoin. And now we've got Pulsechain up. It is crazy. Look at that. It is insane. Backlog to the cahoots there. And of course, people have to pay. You have to pay for the block space if you want to get the transaction on. And look at the people coming in there. They're front running. Look at these people coming in. They just came in, but they're going to pay a higher price. Look, and they're going into the front. They've jumped through. They've decided, I'm playing first class. I'm playing second class for the block space. And in they go. And of course, away they go. There we go. That's another block just went off. Look at all the people inside. Look, they're all coming inside there. Look at the people. There's 2 people in this one. Look, this one's got 2 people in it, and it's about to go. These are transactions going in there. And of course, they're going to fill up and get in there. Look at that. Everyone's coming in there. Boom. They all jump on there. They're going to go to the next place. And they're full front run all these people. These people paying much lower gas prices, and they have to wait. Remember? They have to wait in there. So that's just the way it goes. I love this animation. Very, very cool. If you want to check this animation out, I'll post this in the chat because it's very enlightening about what's going on with the Pulsechain. And of course, we'll get our own version of this, I'm sure, in due course. So check that out if you haven't seen that before. All right, that is pretty much it. So very, very cool. All right, so let's jump over to how successful Pulsechain is being straight out of the gate. And here we are on DeFi Llama. Now, you got to remember that quite a few of the centralized listing sites really, they are not great with their data. They're very politicized entities. We're thinking of CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko. They're very politicized. And of course, they, when you got a politicized platform, they typically, don't do things well. They don't give people a fair go. They're not representing reality. They're representing their view of the world. And so it's no good there. Now, on here, DeFi Llama is very, very good. And of course, they seem to keep it pretty neutral. And of course, we can see here on DeFi under the chains, and this is all chains, by the way, not just EVM chains like Ethereum and Pulsechain. But we can see that Pulse is sitting at number 8 already. Now, obviously, we need more data because we're so new. We're still early. Maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks from, we'll have a lot of data actually running pretty nicely. But you can see the one-day change, 41% in the TVL. Total value lock. So this is stuff that people have locked away, like farms and things like that. And you can see we got $474 million in TVL locked away there, putting us at number 8 on here on the actual chain. So very, very cool there. You got other chains in the house, and it's just brand new. Look how we already jumped so fast. Watch out, folks, because Richard Hart has lots of things coming, and he's going to attract a lot of the capital, right? So if we're thinking about the farms and stuff like that. He's looking to attract the real hardcore capital, and it's going to be pretty cool to see that, right? So we're looking forward to that. All right, so that's coming up, and we're doing very, very, very well on that. So that's going for the chain, but we're also going to talk about the DEX, right? So let's quickly talk about the DEX. The DEX ranking has been very, very good, and of course, people have been putting that out all on social media. You can see on the left here that Pulsechain is number 3, but Binance Chain has been doing a number of dirty little tricks there. Let's just say that, and of course, they have been setting up fake tokens like the one token, and setting up the little bots and setting up fake volume. But they also have had 1 or 2 meme coins launched as well. But they've got lots of fake coins that only last. They pump and they dump, and those are the sort of meme kind of things, right? But if you go to their volume over the last 24 hours, you can actually start to search down through some of the ones that have been moving around at the moment, like Linda CEO, etc., stuff like that. So they've got GM Fam. This was a one. This one's probably the only legit one. But that there got launched. You can see the launch. See how it's just been launched. See that? It's only just fresh data. That's been launched, and that's been set up by one of the teams. I can't remember which team it is, but that's been set up. So you do have a few new tokens launching at the moment. Apart from that, now Ethereum also is sitting up there. So if we look at Pulsechain at the moment, Pulsechain volume is 344 million on here. But we look at BSC and 250,000 transactions. We look at BSC. BSC at the moment has got the 640 million. Now that's going to move around a lot because they have lots of manipulation and other stuff on there. It's well known. And of course, their transaction 882,000. They can just spin those bots around, folks. Just trade $2 a time, and they can make lots of transactions. So really, it's the volume that you want to look. But even the volume can be manipulated by doing the same tactic, right? So you just have the thousands of transactions running at different times as well. But they do also have a lot of meme coins and other DGM projects launching on there as well. That takes us to number 1 with Ethereum. Number 1 here at the moment, 882 million on Ethereum there. And of course, we can see 302,000 transactions. And of course, you can see that we could catch that transaction number up pretty easy. We're at 215. And of course, the volume there, we got to do more work, but we've got lots of things coming that Richard Hart is going to be doing to incentivize capital to flow into Pulsechain. And of course, we can see that on the bridge, that stuff is flowing and it's coming in nicely. So that's what we want to do. And of course, we're going to have more bridges coming up soon to BNB, and of course, to access more chains, and of course, new bridges through multi-chain as well. Now, if you're looking to get Pulse, thinking of bridges, if you're looking at Pulse at the moment, remember Dipcatcher is running his bridge escrow, which means that you will be able to swap Ethereum from one chain over to Pulse, the one that you need to do trades. If you can't trade at the moment because you haven't got the Pulse, that is a definite option for you. So you should follow up on Dipcatcher. We're going to pull up Dipcatcher here now just so you can get access to that. So instead of going around asking for people to give you Pulse, which is not the easiest thing to do, there is obviously the Pulsechain Faucet you can go to. You can participate in this. So this is probably coming up on Tuesday, US time, not today down under. We're already on Tuesday, but this is coming up here. So if you want to follow that, follow Dipcatcher. Is very, very cool. And of course, we covered that bridge as well. That is there. So that is nice. Also, let me pull up the link there, bridge. Bridge. We'll get up to that anyway. So you can follow him and get access to that because that's coming up soon. So that could be a one-off, just like a train leaving the station. You need to catch it. So there we are. That's for you. That's a very cool way of getting Pulse for a bit of Ethereum. All right. So now let's jump over to the next one here. So cool on that. Where was I getting to? I can't remember now. So once you accumulate, of course, the best strategy, the accumulate. What sort of X's can you get? Well, here's an image from Liquid Loans. They've got an image. There's other images floating around of the returns potentiality. We've got Ethereum there at 13,877. We've got Binance at 8,666 X returns. So there's 100% on each of these, right? These X's. Cardano 1288, Polygon 1310, Solana 1009, Pulsechain ? So stay tuned for that. So that's what's what you're in. You're in early. You're in week 2. Accumulate. Ignore any silly FUD from degens. Ignore anything around that. Just accumulate. People who didn't ignore the FUD around Hex, they missed out on the 10,000X token. One of the very few around, right? One of the very few around. And so just don't be that guy. It's up to you, though. Not financial advice, obviously. You need to make your decisions. But look, you're in the greatest thing since sliced bread taking over more of crypto. And Richard Hart is the smartest man around the tokenomics, and he's got a lot of financial levers there. Obviously, no expectations, but it's going to be a lot of fun to see it all play out. See the master at work. This is your chance. Many of you may have missed seeing Hex, the master work the Hex. Now you get to see the master work the Pulsechain and PulseX. Now, Hex is probably the greatest savings product in crypto. A layer 1 now and a Pulsex DEX. What can Richard Hart do with that? He's going to do things with those that you've never seen before. It's actually going to be incredible. And I always talk about being a super DEX and a mega DEX for Pulsex. And what I mean by super DEX is challenging the Binance itself and for the centralized exchange. What I mean by mega DEX is actually flipping a layer 1 value. So that includes Pulsechain. And so we'll be watching to see where that occurs as well. And Richard Hart is very, very clever. And you're only seeing just his opening salvos. I'm sure it's going to be a fun ride. So a dream, accumulate. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, if you haven't checked out Pulsechain, the link's in the video description, pulsechain.com. And, of course, the mainnet has launched. There's lots of cool stuff here. If you want to add Pulsechain to your wallet, there is a button that will show up. We'll say add Pulsechain to your wallet. So you'll be able to switch between Ethereum and Pulsechain, for example, just using your wallet and connect to the chain. If you want to check out the bridge and bridge stuff over, there is the bridge link there as well. This is the official bridge for Pulsechain. You can bridge stuff over. And, of course, if you do bridge stuff over, you'll be included in the bridge values here on plsburn.com, which is pretty cool. So you can do that. If you click on Explorer, you'll be able to see all the validators that we've been talking about, all these validators that are actually confirming the chain. They're the ones that confirm the blockchain. Looking very, very cool. You can check that out. And, of course, that's pretty neat. Now, you can check out the Explorer as well. There's a new Explorer, auto.pulsechain.com. You can see that on there as well. So all the links are there, folks. If you want to add PulseX token to your MetaMask, you can also click on this button and add that too. So it's all pretty easy, folks, to do that. And, of course, the pulseburn.com site, the one that we've been talking about here, this one here, is on there as well. So it's pretty easy to use. Pulsechain.com, folks. Tell your friends, get on there. Is the chance of a lifetime in crypto. There is nothing else out there like that. The only opportunities you'll be able to get is DGNs or some big NFT launches. They're the only things that might get you some big things, but you take on a lot more risk doing that, right? This is relatively low risk, probably the lowest risk, biggest X of opportunity out there in crypto easily. And, of course, your keys, your coins, you get to own them. You're not on a CeFi project, not on a centralized exchange. You're not going to get wrecked. You're not getting it done over. If you think that those aren't finished, people getting done over on CeFi, centralized exchanges, then you're well mistaken. The future is DeFi. And, of course, you see people like Ivan on Tech, some of the biggest influencers. They get it. They understand it. And, of course, they are talking about it a lot, right? They are talking about a lot. So pretty cool. All right. So that's some of the cool stuff there. Let's jump over to the Pulse here. Now on Pulsechain with the bridge, we're having a lot of people coming over. There's a wild Pulse alert here on Twitter. I'll post this in the chat in case you want to save it to your favorites. But it's pretty cool. And click on that. Let's go. Bam. There it is there. So that's looking pretty good. Now, obviously, this is telling you all lots of different stuff that's coming over the bridge. In just the last 16 hours or so, we got stuff here, 226,000 USD Tether coming over from a bridge to Ethereum in this case. This one here is bridge to Pulsechain. So we've got 226 bridge to Pulsechain. We've got 2 billion Pulsex bridge to Pulsechain. So people are sending Pulsex over. Obviously going to look to set up a Pulsex pair on the Pulsechain side. So pretty cool. 2 billion Pulsex bridge to Pulsechain. We got 578 wrapped ETH there, bridge to Pulsechain. So the funds are flowing, folks. This is over the last day. These are the big numbers. 321,000 USDC bridge to Ethereum. So there's some USDC going there. 1 billion bridge to Pulsechain and wrap Pulse. 24 billion bridge to Pulsechain. 257K their bridge to Pulsechain. 15 million Hex bridge to Pulsechain. See, it just keeps going and going and going. So lots of stuff happening there as well. So lots of Hex coming in. Pulsechain, lots of USDC, 479,000 USDC bridge to Pulsechain. Just 10 hours ago, it just keeps flowing in, folks. Look at that. It just keeps coming in. Very, very nice. So bridge to Pulsechain, very, very cool. So lots of cool stuff happening there. Now with the bridge, the fact that the bridge is moving a lot faster now, you're going to see capital flow back and forth a lot more from the chains, right? So that's going to change the behavior on there as well. Very cool. Let's jump through all that. We've got so many stuff there. 7 hours ago, 498,000 DAI bridge to Pulsechain. Then we had 6 hours there, 488K USD 6 hours ago, bridge to Pulsechain. So these are big numbers, 500,000 lots coming in there at the moment. Lots of Bitcoin there coming to Pulsechain. probably getting ready for whatever Richard's got in store for that. We've got 400,000 DAI bridge to Pulsechain, $53 million, 53 million Hex bridge to Pulsechain. Now, obviously, if it's bridging over to Pulsechain, there's less Hex on the Ethereum side. So it's going to be interesting there. And if you guys know the way Hex has worked in the past, you know what I'm kind of hinting at there. All right. So that's kind of cool there on that. Whale alert, looking good. And the farms are going well also. And now let's jump over to some of the new features that are coming to Pulsechain. Now, this is a site called Okari.io. They're setting up limit orders. And, of course, you can set up a price there. Now, I can't remember who put the site up. I think it was someone legit. I haven't checked it. So you might want to do some due diligence, but I was just highlighting that limit orders are coming. We don't have limit orders yet on the Pulsechain, but they will come in a Pulsechain. We know that Portal X is going to have limit orders. And, of course, we've got the site here, Okari.io. This has also got limit orders where you can set a price for buying, set a price for selling, and if it hits those prices, then it will sell or buy your amounts that you had. So that's kind of cool too. And it's got a little how-to there as well. Now, there is the DApp, of course. You can start the DApp, have to connect your wallet. And I just need to find out, I can't remember who set this up, but I did get it from a reasonably reputable link. But once again, you are connecting your wallet up there, just to take that into account. So that's Okari.io. I will post that in the chat there, but once again, this is normally I have vetted them more detail, but that is the one there for limit orders. We got Fatty. You can use a DGN wallet, of course. Maybe I send some stuff to a DGN wallet, things like that, but I will try and find out more about that. Fatty, of course, from the famous team, and of course they've forked GMX, the margin trading site. They've also got the Fiat, the fork of Aave. So they've got a lot of the top DeFi protocols from Ethereum coming over to Pulsechain. They have yet to launch, of course, on Pulsechain, but they've got a site called Fatty, and Fatty is like a wallet market watch type of portfolio manager. And of course, they have the prices of Pulsechain. Now, obviously, a lot of people have asked the question, I can't see prices on MetaMask yet. When are they showing up? Well, they're not showing up yet. They'll probably be later on. But in case, if you want to see your portfolio, you can use the Fatty chart. And, of course, that will show you. All you have to do is paste in. You don't have to connect your wallet even. You don't need to do that. You can just paste your address in, and it will show you your portfolio value in terms of the Pulsechain. So it's pretty useful from that point of view. So I thought I'd point that out. That is Fatty. And you can just post your wallet. You don't have to connect to the site, which is obviously much lower there as well. So I'm going to post that in the chat there. That is Fatty. And, of course, they're part of the big DeFi protocols that are coming to Pulsechain over the next a few weeks to months. So looking good there as well. So that is that one there if you want to check that out. I know people like to track their value. And, of course, you can't do that in the MetaMask yet. So that's kind of cool. We've got another site here for PRC tracker. You remember we've had two PRC 20 trackers. And, of course, you can add your wallet. Now, this is a new one. And, of course, you don't have to actually connect to your wallet. The other one that you had to connect your wallet. This one here, which Richard tweeted, but you don't have to connect your wallet to this PRC 20 token scanner. You just paste your address in and then begins scanning. The cool thing is you only have to add the ones that you want to. And so that's really cool, right? So that is lightbeam.xyz. So I post that. That's a good site from the looks of it. And you just have to paste your address in. Awesome stuff there. Very cool. So let's post that. These are some of the new sites coming up there. So you can see that not only is the value of Pulsechain going to expand over time, but also the ecosystem with all the functionalities and all the features that you need to really manage your portfolio to get the most out of it. They're also going to increase as well. So a lot of people say, how can I see what I got copied over? How can I add the contract address? Well, this stuff will do that sort of thing for you. Very cool. So nice. All right, that's lightbeam.xyz. Remember, be very careful with URLs. If you're searching on Google, be very careful on Google because there are lots of scams out there, and they're using a lot of phishing scams and other things like that. They're using Google ads, and they'll have a little bit different in the name. It'll just be one letter different, and you'll think you're going on to the real site. So it's very important that you save the sites that you're going to. You're saving the real sites, PulseX, whatever it is, you're saving the real sites to your list and go back to that time and time again. If you lose those, go to the official sites and find them through the official sites. Don't Google for these sites. Honestly, you're going to get yourself in trouble. You just need one mistake and they compromise you. They'll take everything. They do not care. And so just be very careful out there with the scams. Richard Hart's been tweeting out a lot of warnings about scams, including Richard Hart profiles. So just really be careful out there, folks. Don't want any of you, we've got 100 people watching at the moment, don't want any of you 100 people getting scammed. And tell your friends not to get scammed, not to do Google searches. Google ads are running. The scammers get away with Google ads. Google has helped facilitate billions of dollars being scammed. So just be careful out there. There seems to be no accountability for such actions. It really is poor. All right, so that is the site there. That leads us into an update here on BankX. Now, we talked about stable coins coming to Pulsechain. This is all happening over the next 2 to 3 months. So you've got to remember, there's waves of growth for Pulsechain, waves of growth. So one of them, of course, is stable coins coming to Pulsechain. Obviously, we're bridging over the ones from Ethereum, but we're going to have some powerful, and I mean that, really powerful stable coins on Pulsechain. We're going to have the best models. There are 4 main models of stable coins. One of them is the Terrible version. That's the Terra Luna type, right? Now, BankX is kind of has a little bit of Terra Luna aspects to it, so it is the riskiest. It's the riskiest one. It is experimental. It has a lot of PhD power behind it, but it's still to be proven, right? Still to be proven. So just be careful. I'm talking about it, but they're about to launch on Ethereum and on BNB chain before they launch on Pulsechain. They have a sacrifice offer for other chains. Pulsechain is included, but this is about to launch. Now, the difference between this and the other stable coins we've talked about, so Liquid Loans, a fork of Liquidity is coming. That's going to be doing a USDL. That is the 3rd biggest sacrifice project, over $50 million that's coming. They also bring oracles. Obviously, they're doing their own version of Telor, rebranded as Fetch. So they've got the Fetch oracle coming. Other protocols will be using that too. But then we've got Liquid Loans with the Earn protocol. And so Liquid Loans is using Pulse, the main coin for their stable coin. USDL is going to be the main stable coin for that. And that's super powerful. That's working beautifully on Ethereum with the Liquidity protocol, which uses ETH as its as collateral. And of course, that's got their own LUSD is the token there. So you just switch the numbers around there and switch the letters around. So that's pretty cool. But second one we've got coming is Power City's Earn protocol. That is a fork of Liquidity also, but they are using Pulsex, the main token, I should say, of Pulsex DEX. So they're using that. That's another supply sync for Pulsex. So we're talking about Pulsex here, and that's coming up as well. Now, this obviously have the big buy and burn, the 48 billion. That's going to go up and away. But can you imagine on top of that, you're going to be supply syncing into the Power City Earn protocol, and you already know they're popular. They're doing all the right things to grow that network. And with Portal X, they're going to be huge. And they're going to have multiple utilities, and that's a no-brainer for me. It really is one of the 2 best protocols out there. And of course, it's going to be pretty neat. So they're going to have supply sync as well. So Pulsex is going to get even more rare. And of course, they're going to have issue stablecoin. Their stablecoin is PXDC. And of course, people are going to be able to take that stablecoin and buy more Pulsex. So not only is it going to be another major supply sync for Pulsex, but it's going to be a major buyer for Pulsex, because people can use those stablecoins to go and buy more Pulsex. But it gets better than that. Everything that they trade on that platform is going to be buying Pulse. And of course, all the fees they earn on all their protocols are going to be buying Pulse. It's got a constant buyer as well. So not only do we have a constant buyer for Pulsex with the Pulsex, we're also going to have a constant buyer for Pulsechain on top of this burn here. We're going to have a constant buyer with the fees, and it's going to go to a lot of people that are staking their Watt token on the Earn protocol. So it's powerful. But then, of course, we've got a third stable coin. That is going to be Coast. That is a different model. So the other 2 are using Liquidity, which has been the most successful, I think, format. But they're also going to have a Coast is going to be using the other good format, which is just a straight up stable coin based on fiat dollars, right? It's where they have a treasury, and the stable coin is minted or existed by the user based on the fiat that they bridge into their treasury, which is held by a bank, right? A bank partner that they have that is up to standard for that. So that is going to be coming down the line as well. So we have 3 native stable coins coming to Pulsechain, but we also have BankX. BankX will coming. Now, BankX is the wild card, okay, because we're going to have to see how this protocol works. So I just want you to be very clear about the conditionality on what I'm saying about this. But they're about to launch within, I think, 48 hours, May the 24th. And they've got a Twitter space. They had that, of course. They got their launch coming up, and they've had a lot of things, a lot of build up for that with their Twitter space and stuff like that. Now, this is a wild card. Now, this difference between this protocol and the other ones you don't earn on a stable coin itself. But this one, you're actually going to be able to earn on the stable coin, and they also have these NFT things as well. So it's going to be interesting as well. Now, I just bring that to attention just because they will be launching. They've got a YouTube video that's got, I think, just less than 48 hours away for their launch. It's going to be very interesting to see this hybrid model. This is a hybrid between like 5 different models. So we're going to be watching to see how this does, and that doesn't follow the roads of Terra Luna, and that it actually has fixed up those issues. And we're going to see what it's like. So it also has a bit of liquidity in it. So it's going to be interesting to see how BankX goes on this one. And of course, they're looking to coming over to the Pulsechain. So first to pay interest for minting a stablecoin, pegged to silver. Okay, so some people find that good, some people don't like it. CD for staking, and of course, so they've got a bit of CDs for staking there, certificate deposit, and then first stablecoin NFTs that pays you. So that is some of this interesting stuff there. I probably will be talking more about that, but I just want to take into account that there is, it is more of a wild card. But hey, look, if they pull off something new with this hybrid thing, that's cool, right? This is crypto. We've got a lot of innovation in the space. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. All right, so I think they're looking to raise at least 4 million at the kickoff. So we'll see what happens there. All right, that's some of the stuff happening here. Now we're going to get into the markets. Before we do that, though, let's go back into the chat and catch up. So the next topic, of course, is the markets. We'll get into all that. I'm just going to refresh Richard Art, make sure nothing has popped up there. Yeah, and I'm going to refresh Pulsechain to make sure nothing's popped up there either, because often during the live stream something happens. So it's just the way it goes. All right, let's catch up into the chats. See where I'm at there. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that, because if one thing you take away, best Pulsechain strategy to make you rich: accumulate. And of course, I've gone through several methods of how you can accumulate tokens as well. So you can swap your PRC 20 copies. You can bring in fresh powder, USDC, whatever, ETH, whatever. You can dollar cost average into that on a regular basis. And then 3, of course, you can go to the farms, and I've showed you which are the better ones, particularly the Hex E pair. And of course, you can also earn more incentive token. And hey, look, I like the strategy when you're earning incentive token to take profits while the incentive token is pumping. Now, will there be a last mile use case for that? There are a couple of alternatives for that use case. Will Richard bring something out? Very, very possible. It would be just another master stroke by Richard Hart. I have a few thoughts on that. And of course, we may talk about that on another live stream. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe for more. So there we are. All right, let's get into some of these comments. And now, let's see up here. Superman, you teaser. You teaser, Superman. Yeah, that's the way we rock and roll. I don't want to become a DGen channel, so I've got to be careful with the old DGen. All right, so let's move on here. We're a family channel. We are a no drama channel, and we try to keep those. I think we've done a pretty good job keeping those principles, and we're also a freedom channel. We love freedom, and of course, this is one way of fighting back, as we say. All right, what do we got? The empty corner in the house there. Yet another beautiful day in Hexco, 100%. Let's see who else has jumped in here. I'm going to jump through a lot of comments. So let's jump through all those. Some people have got comments I can't remember what they're related to, so I'm going to jump through that. Scott Jackson, good morning all. Good to see you, Scott Jackson. Who else has jumped in here? Andrew Reynolds, morning, evening. Good to see you, Andrew. Hexfetti is in house there. Buy the dips, never sell. Wait till Liquid Loans and Power City give me some options. 100% Hexfetti. They are coming down. The big DeFis. It's going to be a lot of fun to see those play out. I'm looking forward to them big time. Hexfetti as well. Good to see Hexfetti. Who else there? Free speech in house there. Have not been doing anything. Don't want to lose my precious PLS. Could be worth a lot later. Yeah. So in terms of not the strategy here is about accumulating. But if you already have a lot of Pulse, a lot of Pulsex, and you're quite happy with it, just hold. Do nothing. That's your strategy. Do nothing, and do nothing strategy is perfectly good. It will be out some people that take on risk just by doing nothing because you're not losing anything. So that's the thing. You can just do nothing. And of course, that is awesome there. So nice comment there by Free Speech. Nice and good name. Good name because it's one of our principles of the channel. Food TV in the house there. Burn, baby, burn. Yeah, the Pulsechain and Pulsechain burn going very, very cool. But wait till all the supply sinks come. And they're coming within the next 2 to 3 months, and particularly probably the next 60 days. We should have probably a lot of big ones, and we've got more protocols coming. I am certainly excited about whether Alex moves on with the rocket pool as well. I'm looking forward to all the big TVLs because at the moment you see a boom, right? You see a boom. Let's pull it up. At the moment you see a boom in the validators, and let's pull that up. So you see this boom in validators at the moment. But this means you need 32 million pulse. And you also need to be able to monitor your computers and have them running up and not get penalized. So there is responsibilities to it. There's great gains. Of course, you're earning that pulse from the fee. And of course, if the price goes up, you're loving it, right? You're also playing a good role for the whole chain. You're making the chain more decentralized globally. And that's fantastic, right? That's fantastic. So and what we got 4 times, maybe 4.5 times more validators than the Pulsechain team put up, which is 4,096. So it's going good. But these other protocols, a lot of the top TVLs on Ethereum are actually based on validating or delegating, at least in the Ethereum chain, and we don't have those yet. So that is the biggest boom area in terms of TVL. They dominate the DeFi Llama. So let's go look at DeFi Llama, because I want to really address that topic, because that's coming up, folks. That's in addition to the big DeFi protocols and NFT marketplaces that are coming down the line. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to probably do some more focus on NFTs tomorrow. I really want to get onto that because that's coming down the line. And obviously that has been a big player in terms of the volume on Ethereum overnight with a new big protocols launched there. So we're going to do that. DeFi Llama. DeFi Llama. Where's that? DeFi. I've got to spell it properly. DeFi Llama. Yeah. So we're going to do DeFi Llama, and we're going to go to look at the where am I going to? We're going to go look at the chains. We're going to go look at Ethereum, and we're going to go look at the top protocols on there. So let's go down, and yeah, you can see Lido. So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about liquid staking here. Lido. This is where you can delegate, and they have yield on yield opportunities. And of course, we've got the other one here. We've got obviously centralized exchanges. We should see that pop up too, with obviously a lot of stuff happening on centralized exchanges. And then obviously Rocket Pool. So these are the ones here, things like Lido, things like Rocket Pool. This is the one that Alex has talked about. It's ranked number 10, folks, on Ethereum. So you see what I mean? We want these coming to Pulsechain. They will come to Pulsechain. And Alex is looking at one of these. This is a biggie. And of course, if you go to Rocket Pool, you can actually see that they have their valuations going up and to the right. But you can see it's a big TVL, 1.66 billion based on Ethereum price, of course. But that's huge. And of course, we expect to see big TVL locked up. Imagine if you're a regular investor on Pulsechain and you want to delegate to a validator, but you don't have 32 million Pulse. But maybe there's 10,000 in a view and you all want to do it, then you can obviously go to a protocol like Rocket Pool on Ethereum there. Maybe Alex is running it, one of our most popular devs, doing some amazing stuff. And yeah, imagine that you could then delegate with Rocket Pool, and that's a way that syncs a lot of Pulsechain, and it's self-fulfilling, right? The more stuff that gets locked up, the less that's on the market, and the less that's likely to be sold. And of course, you have way more buyers, particularly big FOMO buyers on Pulsechain, layer one chain, the biggest thing in crypto. Then that's how you rock and roll, right? That's how you price up really fast. So it's pretty cool. So if we go to the website, we can see that people will be able to delegate, and you can see it's a huge validator. I think there's something like 18 million ETH staked at the moment. So let's go to Beacon, have a quick look at that. I am digressing a little bit here, but I want to talk about this just quickly. We got a Beacon Explorer there for Ethereum. We can see that, yeah, 18.6 million ETH of staking on the ETH chain there as well. So we can see that on Rocket Pool, they have 625,000 of that 18.6 million is on Rocket Pool. So it's a really big validator share, and they have 2,704 node operators connected to the chain. So pretty cool there. They have 2 different options here that they provide. So you don't need 32. On Ethereum, you need 32 Ethereum, right? So you can see 32 ETH there is the average balance. You need 32 to be a solo validator or staker. But here they give you the option you don't need 32. They got one option here. You can stake and run a node. So that's a little bit of hardware you got to operate. So that they only require 8 Ethereum there. So stake with less than 32. So you only need 8. You only need 25% of the amount. So much easier to do. And you can earn a high ROI as well, earn commission from staking pool, ETH, and RPL rewards from provider RPL collateral. So you get a Rocket Pool token as well. And Alex is likely to use the ACOSA from the looks of it in the system. So it's going to be pretty cool. Now, the other option they give you is stake Ethereum So you're going to be able to stake even smaller amounts. Look at this. Deposit as little as 0.01 ETH and receive a ownership token. And of course, you can, with the ownership token, you can earn even more yield by staking that too and putting those protocols. So look at that. A fraction of the amount there is pretty crazy in terms of the ETH there. So yeah, that's a very small fraction of the amount that you're going to need. And of course, we could have that on Pulsechain. So imagine having that on Pulsechain. So let's do that. That would mean that you would only need 10,000 Pulse. 10,000 Pulse. It just seems crazy. So you know, it may not be that low, but it's going to be pretty low if Alex does fork this rocket pool and set that up on Pulsechain, which he has indicated or into that there. So it's going to be a lot of fun there. So some really big opportunities come. Massive supply sinks. Win-win, right? Win-win. Very cool. So I love that. That's coming down the line, folks. I'm just pointing out the fact that what's happening is going to be so awesome. So really cool. All right. So I think we've got a super sticker in there, so I'm going to have to stop for that. Let's jump to the super sticker. We're going to get into market prices next, as you guys know. So we'll definitely get into that. Ian English announced there with the super sticker, $1.99. Appreciate that. Thank you very much for your support. Where do I find my Hex stakes on Pulsechain? Good question. And I've covered this every day just about. So we'll get to that. Let's pull it up. And of course, you've got two options at least that are open to you at the moment. And we'll pull that up. And let's go for gold on that. Okay, now 21. I'm having too much fun, folks. I shouldn't be having this much fun. This should not be happening. Why is this happening? We don't know. All right, so let's pull it up. So your first option is go.hex.com. And of course, you need to make sure that you're on the right chain. So make sure that you're on Pulsechain. And if you're already on Ethereum chain and you go onto go.hex.com, then it might play a little fit. Now, you do have to let it go for a little while. It takes a little bit longer. There's more data uploading now. They've made changes to that. So you've got to sit there for a while, but you're able to see your Hex stakes on Pulsechain. Now, if you're on Ethereum, of course, like I say, open up a new window. Before you do that, switch over your MetaMask wallet or whatever wallet you're using to Pulsechain. So just make sure that you've done that in that order. So you need to switch the chain first on your wallet and then open up the window to go.hex. Otherwise, you will find that it will just do nothing, or even say that it's not supporting the chain, right? It might say it's not supporting the chain. That's how you see it, folks. So if you have got your Hex stakes, if you had them on the 10th of May at 10:36 at the block fork height, and then they would have got copied over to Pulsechain. If you've bought Hex and staked Hex after that, you don't have a copy on Pulsechain. It's only for everybody that were in that fork block at that time on the 10th of May at 10:36 at night. So just remember that. And of course, you can see that your copies. So you've got two copies. Yeah, the price has gone down on the Ethereum chain, but you've got two copies. And so that's if you add those two prices together, you have obviously that's a much higher price, right? So you've got all that value, and you've got two stakes. So if you've got a stake ending on Ethereum and you had that copied over the Pulsechain, you've also got to end it on Pulsechain. Very important there. So go.hex is, I think it's in the video description, certainly under our useful links as well. So that's the one there. That is the first one. The second one, of course, is Icosa app. And of course, this here supports multiple projects. It's got Hedron and Icosa, but of course at the top, it's got Hex, which is what you're after about. You just have to be on the Pulsechain. This is a lot more fluid. You don't have quite the same issues. This will just, if you change the wallet, it will just update. So it doesn't have the same issue as go.hex. But that is the one there. So there we are. And thanks, Ian. Hopefully that's answered your question there. And yeah, you can create stakes on there. You can mint your Hedron if you've got staked Hedron there. And so, yeah, just be careful that when you mint your Hedron, you've got the first option is mint Hedron. The second option is end stake. So you don't want to end stake, do you? Because you get massive penalties. So be careful what you're on. The other thing, of course, is be careful know what chain you're on as well. Now, it's not so bad now because the prices are pretty much the same on both chains. But just remember that you are dealing with tokens on a different exchange, different chain. Sorry, so that's very important. All right, nicely. I mean, I'm miles behind, folks. I'm so far behind. I think I better slow down. We are going to have a bit of a long. I think I'm probably going to go to 1 hour 45 because I've got to cover everything as well. Yeah, check on protocol. That's true. All right, so I think that's kind of cool. Let's go to the markets, shall we? Or I was just going through some of the comments, so let's just roll through those. Like a few people in the house there. I won't be answering questions. We've got questions. Put them into our Discord under Pulsechain Help. Our Discord link is in the video description, but you can definitely check that out. Let's see who else has jumped in here. Crazy lol, says Astrid. Yeah, crazy indeed. Let me just jump through some of those. I think that's kind of Yeah, it's okay. So I've probably missed a few there. I'm just going through, see who else has jumped in here. There's a few questions in there, but I don't have time to answer them anymore. But you can get into our Pulsechain help on our Discord, and people can help you there as well. I think that's it. Just going through those. Yeah, I think that's it. So we're up to date there. Let's get into the prices. I'm running out of time, and let us go. So looking at the markets, let's go here. So this is obviously, we're just having a look at the Pulsex farms. There are no farms at the moment, but we are keeping our tabs on Richard Hart's Twitter. So just to keep up to date to that, because anytime we could have something around the wrap Bitcoin potentially. And so just keep a tune on that. Sometimes after the live stream, he may pop something up. Who knows? We'll see how we get on. All right, let's jump out of there. So let's have a look at Hex at the moment. So Hex on Pulsechain quickly is at 2.566 cents. Hex on Ethereum has been under some selling pressure, and likely due to what we see around like big payday way back in the day, that sort of thing. We've had the fork in prices, and of course also we have obviously people attracted to Pulse and PulseX, maybe accumulating some of that. We've had a huge amount of PulseX, of Hex, sorry, go over the Pulsechain. So this could be very short-lived. Like I said, I think 1 to 5 weeks we may see this volatility. And the reason why I said 1 to 5 weeks is because based on how the big payday went, and also based on some of the things that I think will happen over the next 1 to 5 weeks as well. So I know some people are fretting about the price of Ethereum going down there and relative to other assets, but we are in a price discovery phase, and we also have Pulse and PulseX open for the market. People can buy it. So people are making their bets, they're taking their strategies. Everyone's got a different strategy, and of course that's in play. But stay tuned. 1 to 5 weeks is kind of the thing. You just sort of have to hold your breath and see how you go from there. But if you add those prices together, Hex at the moment is about, 4.8, just under 4.9 cents, or just over 4.8 cents there at the moment. It was as high as about 6.8 cents the other day. So it's about 4.8 cents combined at the moment. 4.9, almost 4.9. So yeah, watch out for that. But definitely a beautiful opportunity in here. Now, if we look at wider, here, we've got, let me just pull up the, let me get auto log on here. So we had a couple of dips here from whales. These whale spikes got dips. And of course, we're here sitting here at 2.3 at the moment. So it's kind of a nice little support level there. Support level there, our low that was busted through back here of 1.7. But of course, we've got fork prices because we've got 2 hexes now and not 1. So yeah, that is the price there at the moment. So we're watching for this chart. Now, it can weaken down further, but I'd be very careful with Hex because as a habit of bouncing back. And of course, now we don't just have Hex anymore. We've got Pulsechain and PulseX, the whole ecosystem. So it's a massive wealth effect in there as well. So stay tuned. All right, so that is Hex at the moment. Let's go to the Pulsechain. Ethereum. I think Ethereum is under even more stuff there. But let's go to let me just go to my favorite ones here. We've got Ethereum here. So we're at Hedron at the moment is at 000. Let me find the pool. Hedron Hex. So we've got Hedron here at the moment is 60641. So it has actually lost a 0 under a lot of pressure like Hex. But be very careful with these ones because both Hedron Hex there because it will find a bottom, and once it does, it's only up and to the right from there. Obviously not financial advice, but yeah, there's a lot of reasons for that. So stay tuned. I'm going to cover that on a different video because it's just too much to talk about. So I'm not going to get into it now. All right, so that's pretty much that. Let's have a look at the Pulse on ETH chain. So we've got Pulse on ETH chain at the moment. Let's have a look at what that is. Let me pull up the value. So the price on Pulse chain on ETH chain, Pulse on ETH chain is currently 00022. So that's looking pretty good. It has ranged pretty high as well. It's been up towards the 3,700 mark there. So it's been pretty good as well, down 15%. Let me pull over get rid of those pages. Let me pull over the Pulse chain. On the Pulse chain here. So we got Pulse chain DAI. So Pulse chain DAI, that's at 0002235. So they're virtually at parity. They're virtually at parity at the moment. There's Pulse and on ETH and Pulse on Pulse chain, which is kind of cool to see, right? Hex itself is pretty not quite parity. Pulsechain Hex is worth more at the moment, but that could be short-lived as well. And of course, the other one we're going to look at Pulse Hex too. Yeah, the parity argument is playing pretty well at the moment. Those who believe in the parity argument, that's where the prices are the same, is playing out pretty well, I think, as you guys can see. Now, it doesn't mean it's not going to be volatile around that parity 1-to-1, but yeah, it's certainly interesting at the moment to see that play out. Where else we got there? Pulse X. Let's have a look at Pulse X. I haven't seen a Pulse X on Ethereum yet, but I'm going to check today because it's very well chance there is one now. I haven't checked. There's a couple of scam ones on the Ethereum, but at the moment, yeah, Pulse X pretty much 0.00105, so just above parity. Sorry, just above the sacrifice price at the moment, down 13%, and that so far it's got to an all-time high of 0.01397. Oh no, 0.0014 is the all-time high, and that was only a little while ago. That's on a 4-hourly chart here at the moment. All right, so those are the main ones there. Let's go into the incentive token, which you guys love, and you guys love that. So we're going to go into that. Let's get out of. I got that one in there. Where did I find that comment? Where's the comment? I've highlighted someone's comment and I can't find it. It's a panic. It's a panic. Astri, yeah, Astri, you got that? Got the free advertising time. That's pretty funny. What else there? We've got a couple of comments in there. Boom. All right, let's leave it. All right, so we've got the incentive token. This has been the talk of the town. This thing has rallied like a boss, man. Look at that, $63. It's been as high as $80.32. Unbelievable. So it's really, really rocketed. Look at that. Now, when did it start rocketing? It rocketed when the incentive pools came out on PulseX. So when these two did, these ones here, because at the moment, you've got all these pools here. All these people are earning incentive token, right? And so they're all earning it. They're earning every day. And of course, we saw that the supply is almost up at 900,000 Pulse incentive tokens. And was it 900? Yeah, I think that's right. I have to check again. Let me check. I got to make sure I got the right numbers. Can't mislead anybody here. Let's quickly check the number of supply. How was my memory? It was 900. I got 829,000. Okay, not perfectly, but not grotesquely off. 829,000 is the supply at the moment. All right, so there we are. We aim to please here with accuracy. That's what we're trying to do. All right, so that was down all the way down at $6.30 here, and of course a big pump when those farms come out because people want those incentive tokens. They need them because they need them to go and put them in here, and they need to put them in here with their Pulse and their PulseX. And we talked about those were coming. They were on testnet V4. We knew those were coming. We knew the stable coins were coming because we need to bring over the big value, the stable coins, because PulseX is based on the Uniswap V2 pancake swap, and of course you need 50-50 of both tokens. And of course, by doing that, you're able to bring in the big tokens, stable coins, and value up your chain, blow that up the value, and that's exactly what's happening. And you can see the liquidity pools are pretty juicy. And the other side of it, of course, is the Uniswap V2 function, the constant function, X times Y equals K. That is not perfect one-to-one, right? It's not additive, and therefore it is bullish on the way up. It also works on the same way down, the way the function works, and so you get some pretty accelerated prices once you get demand on, and you can see that in the incentive token pool here. Pretty cool. I should get a chart like that. If you had a one-to-one, it's kind of flat like that. If you have the constant formula that's kind of curved, and so you accelerate up that curve, it's kind of like that. So instead of being flat like that, we just got a one-to-one swap in the pool. You've got this curve, and it sort of curves really up strongly. Then there's other dexes have curves in between the flat one and the curve, and they got a little more slightly flatter ones like stable coins. On Balancer, they have a stable coin function. It's a really complicated function, but it's much closer to the flat curve. And of course, that's because you expect to trade a stable coin for one-to-one typically, right? Things like formulas like that. So that's another topic. But anyway, so there's my hand artwork. Anyway, so Vogue. All right, we're getting pretty long in the tooth now on the live stream, but $63. And if we flick it over to the impulse amount, so remember AMMs are like this. It's like a pot. Everyone puts their pulse in. They take the incentive token out when the price is going up. When the price is going down, they put the incentive token in, and they take all the pulse out. And because of that constant function that Uniswap uses with V2, it happens at a faster rate, and so the price goes at that squared price. So that's a pretty big deal. At the moment, one incentive token is worth 283,000 pulse. Just remember where this pulse came from. It came from other people. other people put this pulse in here. That's why the price is so high. The demand for incentive token is so high there. So this could also unwind the other way. So just remember that. And this is typically what we see on a lot of stuff happen is unwind. Now, we talk about the incentive token being the last mile. What does that mean? That means that people, this is the last mine token. What's the use case for it? Well, the only use case we have at the moment is these two pools, all right, that people buy it to put it in these pools to earn the APR, which is also paid out in incentive token, inflating the incentive token supply, right? So that's important. Now, that also is affected by the amount of liquidity that goes in as well. So the more people that go into that liquidity, it's sort of self-fulfilling. But what happens when people go to say, actually, I want to take profits now, I want to sell the incentive token, and so now we start going down that other way. And could it be big whales that do that? Maybe it is. So it's going to be interesting to see that play out over time. Now, typically what we see is that eventually these APRs do go down closer, down, and maybe they start to look like this one up here, down to 10%, 30%, 60% in the future. So that's the other thing as well. That's still a very attractive return, but not as attractive as it is at the moment. So that's got to take into account. So very, very important there. And now there is a balance between price of Pulse going up, a breakout in Pulse. Maybe that is also a catalyst for this year coming down. The price breaks out for Pulse, and people want that to go up. So you could have more capital coming in and prices going into that. But remember that only 2 of these pools are incentive driven. The rest of them are driven by other tokens. So that's also in play as well. So yeah, people like to take profit at some stage. So watch this one. It's going to be interesting here. But we got as high at the overnight. We got the 308,000 Pulse per incentive token. Pretty interesting there. So yeah, some food for thoughts there for you. What else we're going to say about that? That is pretty much it. Now, because I'm going so long, I'm going to finish off some other stuff here. So that's Pulse on the Ethereum there. Let's go to, we were going here, Ethereum, I think covered that. Let's go to the Pulse. We're going to jump out of there, actually. Let's jump out of that. Those are those tokens. They're going to be fun to see. So what I like to do with the incentive token is take profits on the way up. So that's what I like to do. So it's up to you what you do with your stuff. I'm after more Pulse. Now, will there be an end of tokens like sorry, let me rephrase. Since incentive token is the last mile token, what is the use case for it? And then you've got to say, well, it's got the 2 farms at the moment, cool. But then the supply is getting bigger. It's relatively scarce though. It's minting from 0. And of course, people are earning that and they want that, so it's kind of good. But then if Pulse breaks out, maybe all sorts of things. Maybe people start to make different decisions. And so you got to say what other things might be doing. Now, people are speculating on what Richard might do with that. He's always said incentive token is sort of a tag on, but I've always argued that, of course, that it does well because of yield farmers, and my words have played out super well, right? Haven't they played out super well? It's exactly what's happened. I've been saying for months and months and months, and of course, the incentive token is going to do well. Years, actually, I've been saying for ages because we've been covering this for so damn long. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, the one thing I was going to say about that is that does he have some end coin mile solutions? I think there's a couple of good options for that, and we're going to talk about that maybe tomorrow since we're already running pretty long. All right, so that is pretty cool. Let's get into the Pulsechain projects. I want to have a look at what's performed well over the last 24 hours quickly. So we've got BNB coin has popped up. That bolted over the last 24 hours. You can see it's got 381,000 in volume in there, and that's done pretty well there, up over 100,000% over the last 24 hours. That's been a big mover, up 45% in the last 6 hours, 25% in the last hour. And that is the BNB USDC. I haven't actually checked the contract, but you can see it's popped up there, and that is done pretty well as well. So a decent liquidity, and the volume's been pretty good, 3.1 million volume, and about 1,800 people have been trading that so far last 24 hours. So that's popped up there. And of course, the Power City's doing the bridge, the BNB. It's going to be an interesting move there. Now we've had Anonymous as well, popped up there, 22,000%. We've got the Pome there. There's a lot of probably just meme coins to set up. We've got obviously Wrap Bitcoin after the drama from yesterday. That's popped up in there as well. So these are the coins that have all done over 1,000%. Okay, OXPLS has popped up there too. Now I haven't investigated any of these. I'll be investigating them after the live stream. But there's some of the ones that have done 1,000% or more. You can see lots of these small ones, new contracts just issued. Probably a lot of these and just popped up there as well. So pretty cool. You can see some of the early big memes that were popped up. Pepe further down the line there, still ticking over okay, 50% on the 24 hours and so on. And then you see some of the other ones that are even longer, been around longer, like ASIC and things like that are there. Pulse, Bitcoin have had a not too bad a day as well. All right, so that's some of the stuff there. I think that's it. Is that what I was going to say? There's probably more I could say, but we're going to leave it there. And we're going to get into the Hex Daily Stats because the live stream is really kicking it here. Let me get on here. So the Hex Daily Stats, we got so much. Now I'm going to jump the Hedron. Normally I do the Hedron auctions. I'm going to jump that today. And I'll try and make sure I get that to the next time. 1,268 days is what we're on now. And of course, we've got now 2 passive incomes, Ethereum and Pulsechain. Beautiful. And we're going to jump into today's results for Ethereum. 1,267, the 26th of May. The price is down 16.8% on Ethereum there, 2.3 cents. We were down 21% yesterday. So that's what's made people nervous. But like I say, be careful with your nervousness. We've seen that before in Hex as well. Right, so we've got the share rate there is, the payout today, 6.749 Hex per T-share, looking pretty amazing. We've got the share price there, $629. The share rate, adopt date in the house there, 27,291. Remember, earlier pays better. We're expecting that to be about 31,000 or so, 31,500 by the end of the year. So earlier pays better on getting your T shares. Average money length there down slightly to 7.11 years. The APY there, another 40% day. Amazing. And of course, liquidity in the pool down from yesterday from 204 down 197.8 million Hex. Remember that we talked about how much Hex is coming over the blockchain to Ethereum to Pulsechain. It is ginormous amount of Hex. 1.88 billion Hex. That's a huge amount of circulating supply. I have the circulating supply, probably I haven't got an accurate number, but I'm pretty sure it's probably heading down. I don't actually say the number I'm thinking because I want to affirm that up. So I'll just leave that in my head. But Crispy Man has a different definition, not so much around circulating supply, but it's kind of active stuff. We might talk about that at the same time and do some of the considerations because it is important what the circulating supply is and what the active supply is of Hex. And I know Crispy Man is looking into that. Now, if you think about it, there are slightly different approaches you can make to that question. So that's all I'm going to say there. All right, so we've got the amount of liquidity in the pool, $304,000, and liquidity in there, 165 ETH. What else we got there? T-shares down 7,706. Man, oh man, look at this. We are below 9.9 million T-shares in the pool there. Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. That is just crazy. Man, oh man, you guys are watching history in the making here. It's going to be fun to see this play out. I know there's going to be tears in the future because people are going to make the wrong decisions, but you're going to be happy if you got T-shares. Penalties there, 4.3 million Hex in penalties. Look at these penalties today. This is the volatility that we're expecting, right? Price discovery. We've got Pulsex. There is a volatility. And, of course, look at the market is telling you there's volatility. Look at those penalties coming in at the moment. And, of course, we got the payout there, 66.7. Some people are in staking and all sorts of things to buy other tokens. They are making their strategic positions, and it's all going to play out in the wash in the future. It's going to be fun to see. All right, growth in the numbers, down 1,058 in current liquid holders on Hex at the moment, 331,139. We've got change in miners there, down 37 to 120,418. And the total holders there up 566 to 567,383. And now we're on day 1268. We've got the Hex payout expected on Ethereum at 6.519 Hex and a 6.534 on Pulsechain. Now, remember, Richard likes expensive Hex, likes expensive tokens on chains. It's going to be fun to see these two play out. Both of them expected to be the big chains in the future. And, of course, Pulsechain straight out of the gate, looking absolutely smashing numbers there in TVL and in volume, taking, numbers 2 spot overnight and behind Ethereum there the other day. So this is just the beginning too. Much more coming. It's going to be absolutely amazing. All right. Let us leave it on the Hex Pulsechain price, 2.586 cents at the moment. Let's get into the final comments. Come to an hour and 45. What an epic live stream this has been. Another one. We've just been kicking out some absolutely amazing shows, and you guys make it possible. So let's do it. Let's do it. Scoop up the cheap Hexes, academiciated, 100%. What's up, Spikers in the house? So good to see you and Ashley there with the strong arm for the free promotion. Yeah. DJ and Hex says, I use a COSA to create stakes on Pulsechain. You do indeed. And that is cool. There are lots of, by the way, not only can you check your stakes on a COSA, but you can flip between the two chains. There are auctions for the Hex HSIs, and some people have been getting some incredible deals on both chains. Pretty amazing. And of course, Alex is continuing to build out there as well. There's so much stuff happening, folks. There is so much, and we're going to try and bring as much of that to you on these live shows. It's an hour and 45. We're going to chill out now. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we're going to play out some cool, fun stuff from Richard Hart because he's the man, and of course he is creating history here in crypto, and it's only in week 2. We're only in week 2, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Take care, everybody. Peace out. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Get into a Discord. It's free, and we've got all the information, and we try to help as best as we can. So get into all that as well. Don't forget the faucet out there to get you get 2,500 PLS if you need it. And of course, don't forget Dip Catchers Bridges coming up on Tuesday. You can swap ETH over for Pulse and have that Pulse is tradable Pulse, right? So you can do that too. All right, take care. Bye for now. Woohoo!
Here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.
Light the candles. I'll light these candles at $1 on Hex. That's the next time I'm lighting. Yeah. Hello, everybody. I've waited a very long time for this day. It's finally come. I'm very happy. So let's oh my God, will Pulse fill up? Yes. If it accrues so much value and gets so many users, yeah, the fees will go up and you'll just get really rich holding Pulse watching. Oh no, more really rich people. Like, you can't, here's the thing. You cannot force a free market to keep things cheap, because then crappy use cases that aren't valuable will outbid useful and valuable use cases. And do you want your chain with limited capacity to be filled up with crap? No, you don't want your chain filled up with crap. You want it filled up with nice, good things. Well, then how do you know what the difference between nice and crap is? By bidding. And the people that see more value in the chain pay more to use the chain. And then your limited resource chain, through the bidding mechanism, is filled with the most valuable things that people can fill it with. And so this like socialist USSR decree that, oh, we're just going to have cheap fees forever, it doesn't work, because there's a finite amount of space and you have to allocate it to certain users. And who should you allocate it to? Those that can most afford it, because they're bidding with their money for how valuable the transaction is. So the solution to a limited resource isn't to screw around with the pricing. The solution to a limited resource is to create more of the resource. So the Ethereum chain is full. Great. Well, we're going to make one with 4 times more throughput, and it won't be full. It'll be empty, and let's go fill it up.